during the Attitude Era, I was in there for 1,000 shows. I was in there when Austin drove in the beer truck. I was there for all that. Mac, I was at the Garden the first time Savage wrestled Hogan at the Garden, Madison Square Garden. Mac, I swear to you, the building was shaking. Madison Square Garden was shaking for professional wrestling.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to a special Sportskeeda Remembering Hulk Hogan. I'm your host, Mac Davis, and with me is Mr. Vince Russo. Hey, Vince, how you doing?
Mac, have you been hitting that rum candy again, Mac?
No, it's just starting to get a little bit late in the evening, and, I start getting a little wiry. So. Man, this week, God, Vince, just as of the time that we're recording this, it's only been, a day removed from hearing that Hulk Hogan had passed away. I think it's important for a lot of people to know because we talked about this on another show that we do, but I want to make sure those who did not hear, tell the story about what you were doing when you heard that Hulk Hogan had passed away.
Yeah, and I want to get into this a little bit. The last month, I've been keeping in touch with Bubba the Love Sponge. And he has been sending me updates weekly. So I want to talk about that in a second, but I want to answer a Mac's question first. So yesterday I was literally doing a show about Bubba's latest reports and what people around Hulk were saying. Jimmy Hart, B. Brian Blair, Bischoff, all those people. And Bubba was telling a completely different story. And I was like, and I was doing a whole show on that yesterday, like what's going on here? And I told him what my thoughts were, and I will share it here in a minute. And while I'm doing this show, Mac, my daughter's trying to call me. And anybody that's a parent, when your kids are trying to call you, it's like Mac, Richard Lewis, the great comedian, used to do this bit. Yep. Like when the phone rings in the middle of the night, death in the family. Like, yep. And that's how it is when the kids call. When you see the kids' names on the phone, it's always, you got to stop everything.
Yep.
So I literally couldn't pick it up during the show, but I'm trying to wrap up everything fast. And as soon as the show ended, I called her and she told me Hulk Hogan had died. And literally, I was just talking about the situation.
Wow.
Now, Mac, I want to say this because, man, bro, like Bubba was getting beat up for this. So I want to tell everybody like why I believed what Bubba was saying was true. First of all, you guys got to understand Bubba and Hulk were best buds for like 15 years.
Oh, yeah. He was on his radio show the time.
Every day. And they used to both bury me on that radio show together. They used to have a picnic burying me. So they were very, very, very tight. Then you guys know what went down with Gawker and Bubba's wife and all that stuff. And they had not talked for the last 10 years. So I knew that Bubba knew Hulk's inner circle. If he was friends with the guys for that long, he knows those close to Hulk. So that's number one. Number two, Mac, he was giving me description of what was going on. I mean, detailed description.
Wow.
So there was that. Then there was, bro, if the guy's lying, he's opening himself up for a huge, huge lawsuit. Then you got to ask yourself the question, why would the guy lie about something? He would not lie about something this serious. He would not. But then, Mac, this was the telling thing. As he's giving me updates week after week after week, what was the one constant? Nobody ever heard from Hulk. And that is so unlike Hulk. Mac, you know, the guy will be literally on his deathbed promoting American beer. You know how when Hulk is silent, now I know. Here's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. Why did the family and those around him keep it so hush hush? Now,
can I answer that?
Go ahead.
Let me say, because I also had heard some stories that were going on behind the scenes, and I think I told you this earlier this week. So I was kind of questioning some of the things I was hearing from people who I thought would know. So it actually confused me, because when I'm hearing from people who should know how he is, and yet they're not saying the same thing that I'm being told, and like you say, you're not hearing a thing from Hulk Hogan, something didn't sit well. But I will say this, and I know you're pretty much saying, you know, why would he make it up? Why would Bubba the Love Sponge make this up? But my question would be, why would he report it in the first place? Was it his place to mention that Hulk Hogan was in dire straits? I mean, maybe the family didn't want that information out there. Maybe that's the reason why so many people close to Hogan were saying something totally different, because they were trying to keep this quiet on purpose, while Bubba the Love Sponge is kind of giving all the information out. I'm just playing devil's advocate, but that, I mean, you know, let's face it. Why would you bring it up if it's not your family? Why would you even tell people that he's doing horrible if the family doesn't want it out?
I'll tell you why I would. But I'm not saying these were Bubba's reasons, because I don't think they were. Yeah. I'll tell you my point of view. And this is what I think is unfortunate about it. I think there had to be one of two reasons why nobody in the inner circle was giving us an accurate report. I think there had to be one of two reasons. Number one, the guy was tied to so many businesses. We talked about it on the other show, the restaurant, the new wrestling federation, the Real American Beer. So many people were in business with Hulk Hogan. So from a business point of view, they maybe didn't want his partners to really know the condition he was in. That's number one. Or Mac, see, and this is why, you know, but Mac, people always pick on me, but I always look at every side of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Or Mac, maybe they believed he was going to kick out.
Yeah.
But bro, come on, man. How we've been told for 40 years he's the immortal Hulk Hogan. You start believing it. Literally. Yeah. So maybe they really thought he was going to kick out. Now, if you're asking me why I would have given the information out, I'll tell you why, Mac. Mac, this dude had millions and millions and millions and millions of fans around the world for the last 40 or 50 years.
Yes.
If he is in dire straits, Mac, I got to tell you, I am a firm believer in the power of prayer. And if his people, his fans and his legions and those that loved him knew the condition that he was in, and, you know, wanted to pray for him, and if he could have millions and millions and millions and millions of people praying for him, there's a power in that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I would have been looking at, because I do believe in the power of prayer. But I will also say this, Mac, you know, when you get Mac, well, see, people pick on me. I'm most hated man ever. No, bro, because I say this too at the end of the day. They had their reasons for keeping it private.
Yes.
I don't know what they are. But all I'm saying is, if his millions of fans around the world knew, everybody would have dropped to a knee and they would have prayed hard, you know, for his health. But like I said, man, there's a reason why they wanted to keep it close knit.
Vince McMahon also, he posted right after Hogan passed away, and he wrote, "The world lost a treasure today. Hulk Hogan was the greatest WWE superstar of all time, someone who was loved and admired around the world. He was a trailblazer, the first performer who transitioned from being a wrestling star into a global phenomenon. His grit and unbridled thirst for success were unparalleled and made him the consummate performer. He gave everything he had to the audience, whom he appreciated, respected, and loved. He leaves us with one of his favorite expressions: train, take your vitamins, and say your prayers. Today, we pray for him.
Keep that up, Mac. Put
Yes.
that back up. Mac, this is great. What's the one thing in this thing that, if you know Vince McMahon, like I know Vince McMahon, what's the one thing in this that slaps you across the face?
Today, we pray for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I read that's not the Vince McMahon. Didn't Vince McMahon challenge God?
He did. He had a match with him.
Did he have a? When I saw that, you know what I said, Mac? You know what I said? Thank God. Thank God. If Vince is at a point in his life now where he realizes it's not about the money, it's not about the fame, it's not about the power. I had all that. Yep. And look where I am. When I read that last line, bro, those last words speak volumes, absolute volumes. And I was thrilled to see those last three words.
We also got stuff that came in from a lot of folks: Pat McAfee, Matt Hardy, Charlotte Flair, many people, all with their condolences for Hulk Hogan. It was one of those things, and we said this a while ago. I think it was on the other show. I don't know if it was on this one or the other show, but this is one of those cases where his passing, even though he was 71, was unexpected because he still looked in incredible shape. You talk about being immortal, the immortal Hulk Hogan. Man, even when you looked at him, he looked like he was in fantastic shape. He always was. I do want to bring up a few things and kind of start back a little bit really about with you and Hulk Hogan. This picture here that we're showing, what is that from?
God, I was such a looker.
Fine mustache you got there. You got that Dominic Mysterio mustache going.
This is the VSDA, Video Software Dealers Association.
God, that's old.
Mac, this is when VHS beta, that's when it was just starting up. And they would have this big convention in Vegas, VSDA, and all the huge studios would be there, and they would have all the biggest stars of the movies that were coming out on video there. And Hulk was there for Coliseum Video, and I got an autograph from him for my son, Will, who was probably, 3 years old at the time. Will just turned 38. So
wow.
Will was probably 3 years old at the time.
Okay, I'm looking in the background too. Is that Mean Gene behind you?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I thought I recognized that bald head back there. Yeah. How old were you there, Vince?
Oh, my
you hadn't been like what, 12?
No, this is. No, I want to say this is 19. I want to say maybe 1989, something like that. So, I mean, what's that?
26, maybe
36 years ago, 46, 56, bro. I'm 26, 28.
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. Yeah, 26 years of age.
Yeah,
man, you're still just a baby there. So is he. You can see, but look at that. He still has a lot of his hair still.
Yeah, what a looker.
All right, let's. This is something else I wanted to talk about. We end up getting Hulk Hogan in a lot of things when it came to his career, but this is really where I think his career, he was blessed with something right here, because without this, would he have been as big, do you think, if he never played in Rocky as Thunder Lips?
I do think so. I do think so. Just because he was a freak. You know what I mean? I mean, he just, you looked at him and he was special and he stood out. So I even think, I mean, obviously this was massive for him, Mac, but I do believe even without this, we would have got the same Hulk Hogan.
So you think that we would have gone from that and we would have gone to this? We would have gone to Andre being slammed at WrestleMania 3.
Yes.
What was your first recollection as a match for you for Hulk Hogan that you remember from the beginning?
Oh,
I mean, I'm sure it was before this. I mean, you probably
it was before. I mean, it was definitely. I told you on the other show. I watched in real time him beat the Iron Sheik for the title. I watched that, so it had to be before that. I can't remember an opponent or what, but it was definitely before that because I saw that match live.
Do you remember the time when he was in WWF with the Vince Senior, and then that's when he left? He left after that to go do Rocky. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, you know, the history with him. I mean, just going from WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 2, and WrestleMania 3. There will never be another era in professional wrestling that will ever touch that time period. It was really what has sustained where we are today in the wrestling business. You and I, we wouldn't be having this chat right now.
Mac, if I had $1 for every time I say this, I wouldn't have to do this damn show because I'd be rich. I have said this a million times. The era of the early WrestleMania, let's just say 1 through 3. A billion times better than the Attitude Era, without a shadow of a doubt. And I freaking wrote the Attitude Era, and I'm telling you, WrestleMania 1 through 3, it will never be topped ever.
Who were writing those stories back then? Do you know who the storytellers were back then?
Yeah, I mean, but you know, pretty much it was Vince, Bruce, and Pat. I mean, pretty much they were the ones doing it. But you see, you gotta realize. Vince was bringing in these already established wrestlers from these other territories. So everybody came from other territories. They already had a gimmick. You know, Piper was already doing Piper. Hogan was doing Hogan. Jake was doing Jake. You know, they already had their gimmicks. So, But you know, so basically all they really had to do, Pat, Vince, and Bruce, is write very basic stories.
I was going to say the stories were not that deep, really. They were sensible stories.
Absolutely.
And sometimes simple sells more tickets.
Absolutely right.
People can understand what's going on.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. One of those cases too was this combination here, Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan. As the superpowers, for me, probably one of the tag teams after Road Warriors that I really kind of got behind. And to me, that was just one of the tag teams, you know, of that era.
Mac, I got to tell you this because I never experienced this in my life. And Mac, listen, you know, during the Attitude Era, I was in there for 1,000 shows. I was in there when Austin drove in the beer truck. I was there for all that. Mac, I was at the Garden the first time Savage wrestled Hogan at the Garden, Madison Square Garden. Mac, I swear to you, the building was shaking. Madison Square Garden was shaking for professional wrestling. I'll never forget it. I was never, since that time, I was never in a building for a wrestling show where it shook. It was shaking from the rafters. Mac, this was my favorite thing of the night. And I don't know if you know what this word means. Okay.
What's that?
Somebody at the Garden. This is how it was back then. So Savage is the heel and Hogan's a babyface. Somebody at the Garden had a huge banner that said, Elizabeth is a Butana. You know what a Butana is?
I do not know what a Butana is.
A Butana is a in Italian.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, Lord.
Yeah. And it was this huge banner. Elizabeth is a Butana, bro. I will never forget that as long as I live.
Hey, Randy couldn't have known even what it meant then, because can you imagine if he saw that, he'd kill somebody.
Mac, I got to tell you something. You want to hear about the biggest mark out moment ever?
Tell me.
So Mac, I get the spot as the editor of the WWF magazine. Okay. Bro, I I just love Randy Savage. Love him, bro. So one of the first things I do is I'm gonna do an up close and personal, man. Bro, I stayed at his house in Treasure Island. I jet skied with him. Bro,
Damn.
he brought me to Angelo's house. I had dinner with Angelo and his mom, and Lanny came over. Bro, it's something I will never, ever, ever forget, Mac.
Man, I can't believe it. Jet skiing with Randy Savage. That would be cool as hell.
It
Really
was
would.
unbelievable.